Hi, my name's Frank Turner, I'm in a Croatian forest and you're watching NME.com. The last time I did Tape Deck Heart was kind of it was a breakup record. It was about, you know, the end of a specific relationship, but it was also about, you know, just kind of losing your way and sort of screwing up your life when you're in your 30s rather than your 20s, you know. And so there was all that, and there were various other things as well that sort of led to a not particularly pleasant period in my life, but you know, you survive, you carry on. Or at least I was lucky enough to do that. So yeah, I guess in a way, having written what is quite a downbeat record, it was naturally always going to be a bit more, but just by comparison, it wasn't going to be, unless I went full kind of like Arab strap, it wasn't going to be quite as sort of downbeat, do you know what I mean? I hesitate to call it triumphant. I mean, it's not necessarily about winning, but it's about refusing to just kind of throw in the towel, I suppose, you know? So yeah, in fact, no, it's not triumphant, or at least I hope it's not triumphalist. You know, it's just about just that sort of resolve to give it another go, I think, something like that. I've got this image in my head about the idea of being in a storm shelter while a tornado destroys your town, and then you come out and, you know, everything's fucked, but you're not dead. So you might sort of build like a tent and start sort of sweeping up a little bit and sort of putting infrastructure back together, basic services, that kind of thing. We didn't go to Nashville for the Nashville sound or anything particularly. We went to go and work with Butch Walker, who has a studio in Nashville. If he'd had a studio in Leamington Spa, we would have gone to Leamington Spa. Butch was kind of like he was the sort of the missing piece for this record, really, in a way. I had an idea of what I wanted to sound like and what I wanted to feel like. It was all based around the idea of trying to make it like you make a debut album, you know, when you sort of essentially rehearse the songs in a live context. And then you get into the studio and you just kind of hammer out a live set and then you fuck off and tour again. And that's what I wanted to do. But I was having a real trouble finding a producer who either I felt was fully on board with that, or who didn't think I was mental, or who wasn't kind of secretly trying to change my mind and go back to doing that thing of doing the drums in one room in 1 week and then, you know, spinning it all up. So, I kind of got on I kind of fell out with the record label at one point about all of this. It all got a bit tense, and then Butch sort of came into the picture. A friend of mine suggested him as an idea. I actually knew him as a songwriter, didn't know that he was a producer. Got in touch with him, we got on very well, and then he's got a studio in Nashville, so off we went. But I didn't spend much time in the Country Music Hall of Fame, there's no pedal steel on the album. Weirdly, I have been listening to almost nothing except traditional country music since making the record, so maybe next time we'll write a song about some farming and pedal steel and stuff, and it'll be awesome. Partly, the number album 6 isn't an inherently exciting number, do you know what I mean? I think by that point in time, people generally have an opinion about what a band sounds like, and indeed quite often bands have sort of got a bit flabby by that point. And I thought it was really important to kind of like not do that, you know, not be kind of sort of lazy sonically. And Tape Deck Heart was quite a sort of many layered record, should we say, and it was sort of a kind of many listens kind of album, and I wanted this to be a real kind of slap in the face kind of sound, you know, a bit more punk, a bit more aggressive, a bit more in your face. I mean, you know, I haven't made a Napalm Death record yet, but it's quite a good idea though. But you know, just a bit more kind of direct. I mean, Get Better sort of kicks the record off after the introduction piece, and it's just like in your face, and I wanted that kind of vibe. I don't really sort of self-conceptualize as being prolific per se. I just kind of, I'm busy and creative at the moments when it feels appropriate to me, which is quite a lot of the time. And I just don't really see the point in kind of sitting on stuff for the sake of form, do you know what I mean? And it's, I don't know, sometimes I feel like people take it as an implicit criticism of other people. There are bands out there who take 10 years to make a record. If that's what it takes you to make a record, then take 10 years. You know, fucking A, go for your life. But for me, I mean, actually, we've spent rather longer on this record than I was planning to originally, which at the time, at various points in time, annoyed the fuck out of me. I have to say that in retrospect, I hate to concede the point, but maybe there was a value in doing this, because I think that, I mean, of course I would say this at this point in the game, but I think it's like the best thing that I've done and that me and the Sleeping Souls have done, so I'm very pleased with it. In terms of different sounds, I mean, one of the things to say is that I sort of feel there's something about this record that feels quite kind of like summation. It feels like a summation of what I've been doing in my previous solo records. I mean, that might just mean that I'll kind of move on a little bit next time. It might mean that the next record is going to be a drum and bass album. I don't really know. It seems unlikely that I'm going to make a drum and bass record, not because I don't like drum and bass, but because I tried once making drum and bass music and I was really, really bad at it. And I haven't been practicing in the interim. So So I don't know, but like, I mean, you know, I reserve the right to do whatever the fuck I want. I mean, did the Mongol Horde record last year that was loads of fun, doing something that was kind of sonically totally removed. Although kind of, I guess, still within the genres that I have touched in my professional music life. But I mean, yeah, I've got a friend who makes very, very odd sort of Aphex Twin style, squelchy electro type of stuff. And I always loved that Postal Service record, and I like the idea of kind of using that approach of kind of having a songwriter and then a sort of electro producer, but instead of making it really nice, making it really horrible, and trying to do something where you kind of do a sort of a mashup between kind of sort of like 16 horsepower style kind of dark country songs with Aphex Twin, as opposed to kind of Ben Folds with the Intel. That could be interesting. But I mean, you know, I'm still very happy with this record right now, and I've got quite a lot of work to do on it, so we'll see where time goes.